One of the most difficult things about coronavirus is how it has deprived us of physical touch. I have a good friend who's a real extrovert and loves to hug others, but she lives alone, and so she hasn't had a hug in weeks. Perhaps you've seen on TV the heartbreaking images of people dying in hospital beds, only able to receive the touch of medics in full PPE. Touch is powerful, and as a society we are really missing it. In Jesus' time, those who had illnesses that were thought to be really contagious, like leprosy, were kept away from the rest of society. But it wasn't just seen as a physical danger. Someone with leprosy was unclean, religiously, ceremonially, spiritually. They weren't just kept away from people, they were kept away from the temple. They were kept away from God. And this religious contamination could spread much more easily than any physical disease. You had only to touch another unclean person and you too became unclean, kept away from the temple, kept away from God. Imagine what it would feel like to be so feared by others. If you had leprosy, it would be like you were in permanent lockdown while the rest of the world went on about its business. Not only were you unsafe for people to come near, but you were unworthy of God's sight. At least that's what people would have you believe. So when this healer man, Jesus, comes to town, you summon all your courage and seize your one opportunity. Braving the disgusted looks of others in the street and their affronted glares, you step outside and go to find Jesus. You cry out to him, "Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean." Well, let's pick up the story in Luke chapter 5, verse 13, to see what Jesus did. Jesus reached out and touched the man. "I am willing," he said, "be clean." And immediately the leprosy left him. When Jesus heals this man, he doesn't just speak to the body, he touches his soul. It was before the healing, before the leprosy had left him, that Jesus reached out and touched the man. A touch that speaks 1,000 words. A touch that says, you were never out of reach to God. People might have avoided you. People might have shut you away. People might have devalued you. But God never wanted to hold you at arm's length. Here, God touches you. Jesus' touch restored his body, but I bet it did more to restore his spirit. I bet it began to heal years of feeling unworthy, years of feeling not good enough, years of thinking that he was unloved. Well, our physical touch is limited at the moment. Perhaps you are one of those who hasn't had a hug in weeks and you are missing it. My prayer for you today is that you might know the touch of God. He says to you today, you were never out of reach for me, and you never will be.